Check, check. We're good there. Check, check. Hey there, Ara. Are you able to hear me and answer back in your radio show host voice?
Was pulled out. It was the right call for Rose Antonio. Yeah, but you just felt the energy of Moonlight shift. As soon as she took it off the shin. Strike out there for Jelf. And the inning is over. A 32-minute inning has sealed 10 runs in the frame. So he also live. Oh, no, that's slam. Home run. Get out and support Buy Local Hawai'i merchants. Use any ASB Visa debit card to get exclusive discounts. ASB has saved locals more than $1.5 million and counting. Buy Local Hawai'i by American Savings Bank. After 175 years, some people still think we're just a ranch. And we just farm on it. What they don't realize is we know our backyard. And that's just how we roll. It just makes us so old friends. I mean, it's a new one. The Honda CRV or the Toyota RAV4. Well, the CRV is a car driver 10 best for the 4th year in a row.
Aloha. There we are, huh? You got yours, I got mine.
It's okay.
Okay, jump in. Good morning and aloha. I am feeling fabulously caffeinated. It's another beautiful day in paradise. Oh, excuse me, because I gotta jump straight in and rub my belly, pat my head at the same time. Online and radio at the same time. Cable. All right, here we go. We are 2 minutes late. Right.
On your break,
Okay.
can you play your app? Yeah.
What time do you want me to take a break?
Anytime you break.
I never take
Yeah.
a break until I'm done.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh,
no,
not
I just
even playing
go.
not even playing the.
Oh, I speak it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay,
Aloha. You're listening to
Okay.
KPMW Maui Mix 105.5
Oh,
FM.
okay.
Your Pinoy hit station, Puso ng Filipino, the heart
Oh,
of the
okay.
Filipino. In
So,
I've been
I
practicing.
I always forget the puso ng Filipino.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. All right.
So,
I forgot to play this. Okay. Can you see that?
yeah, I do the
Oh, yeah,
disclaimer every time as well.
Yeah.
The prayer.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want me to play that one like on the hour?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Filipino, but it's
Okay.
Ilocano. Yeah.
And I
Please.
listen to this one to here, there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ryan showed me that I got my new cable,
Yeah. Okay.
and I tested last time.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
today we'll see if it works.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Here we
I forgot to
go.
play. I forgot to play all the. So we were talking because I was.
Oh, I'll do the call sign.
Yeah. Huh?
The call sign,
Uh-huh.
KPMW. Yeah, no
No,
problem.
the call sign. No hair.
Oh, the ad. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll play. No problem. Aloha. You are listening to KPMW Maui Mix 105.5 FM on your radio dial. Your Pinoy hit station, Puso ng Filipino, the heart of the Filipino in Hawaii. Hali'i Maili. I am MC Shy Guy, aka Andrew. I am here today, coming to you from the booth here on the island of Maui. We are broadcasting online at the same time on x.com. Soon we will have the live stream up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on all of the channels so that we can try to bring together the people in Hawaii to let their voices be heard. And excuse me as I rub my belly, pat my head at the same time. I'm plugging in cables over here, trying to get the computer online. So, yeah, I like to start every time with a prayer. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. Thank you, Jesus, for this beautiful paradise known as Earth, this tiny blue dot. Thank you for this Earth suit, aka my body, my mind, my personality, even. It's part of the Earth suit. Thank you, God, for giving it to me. And thank you for KPMW Maui Mix 105.5 FM and the chance to have just a normal everyday guy like me get on the radio and share my thoughts and opinions, and more importantly, to get other people onto the radio who have a lot more qualified opinions than myself. So thank you, God. Keep me humble. Let every word that comes out of my mouth be from you. Speak through me and act through me in Jesus' name. And I no longer say amen because I'm not sure if amen came from Amon Ra. I think Jeffrey will be able to speak on that momentarily. He is live on x.com on the X space right now. Requested a mic. Stand by for just a minute, Jeffrey, as I get a few more things plugged in and read off our little disclaimer. We've got a big disclaimer here, folks. Listen to this show at your own risk. The views and opinions expressed on this program might offend you. We don't mean to offend you. We're just here to inspire, perhaps inspire, entertain, and even educate, as long as the law allows, unless prohibited by law. And we retain all rights in perpetuity. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the founders of the radio station, the owners, the clients, the customers, the advertisers, the friends, family, uncles, aunties, the pets, or anyone in general. Not even me, not the host, not the guests. We're just riffing. We're having fun, and we are held indemnable for our freedom of speech. We're indemnified. That's a nice word. I've waited a while to use that word. So having said that, I'm going to plug in my side system here, see if we can get our mic jacked in. And I see Jeffrey's already requested a mic, so I'm just going to go straight from my phone and just say good morning to Jeffrey all the way from across the pond. Let's see, how do I accept him here? Requests. This is the cool thing about x.com and the X app. You can have your own digital town hall. Jeffrey is connecting in 10, 9, 8, hopefully 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There he is. How are you, sir? I am having another wonderful day in this paradise called Earth. So yeah, do you care to give a little weekly update from where you're at in the world? What's going on? You can buy me some time on the radio as I plug in the rest of the dials over here. What's going on over there? Say that again.
We had a fun little earthquake the other day. No aftershock, but the building I'm staying in, it moved and it rattled and it's a solid concrete building. So it was interesting living on the third floor, and it was reeling and rocking for maybe it might have been 20 seconds, but that 20 seconds seemed like an eternity. I have been in much bigger ones, like the one that hit us in 2010, or was it? Yeah, it was 2010. The one that was over there by off the Big Island in the what the heck you call it? The channel between the Big Island and Maui.
Right.
Yeah, that was like an 8. And this one was like not even a 5, but it was much bigger movement on this one.
Okay, so I guess you're okay. You're calling in. How about the location around you? How's everybody there?
Freaked out, alarms on the building were going off, power went out, that sort of thing. You know that there's a typhoon that was basically smacking the larger island Luzon, and got a bunch of rain the last couple of days. The first day that when it hit, I don't think I've seen that much water running down roads in my entire life, and then I was out and about, and I'm like, I think I need to get a different pair of shoes.
Yeah, you need to get some fins. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Good. I'm just I'm watching
Oh.
watching the politics that are playing out worldwide.
hold on a second there, Jeffrey. We got our other feed going on. Stand by.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, I'm standing by with Jeffrey there as I get on to the one that's connected to the radio station. Let's pray, let's cross our fingers and hope that our X space will connect and that Jeffrey Stephen, House of Jarrett, is on the call with us. Jeffrey, are you able to hear me? Or did our X space just crash? So that's the thing about the technology, guys. You got to just keep trying it and using it. And unfortunately, we don't have town halls anymore. It's really hard to get.
I can hear you perfect.
Oh, you're there, Jeffrey. Good. Okay, good. All right. Oh, it took a second to reconnect. All right. I'm not sure which tab I'm hearing you from, but I'm hearing you. Okay, I got the mic a little bit closer now, too. Excuse me, everybody. Rubbing my head, patting my belly. So, Jeffrey, you've survived the devastation of a pretty big sounding flood there. And you left Hawaii after filing some federal court cases. Correct me if I'm wrong on the review. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so you were not in the valley? Are you still with
Can
us,
you hear me
Jeffrey?
still?
Oh, sorry about that. Mine was muted. I think I was getting you on the phone, not on the computer. I'm trying to transfer over to the computer. Bear with us, folks. We got Jeffrey Stephen calling from.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to look through your voice. I'm picking you up. Let me see if I can. Yeah, when I'm shutting off, funny thing is when I'm shutting off the web access through Radio USA, I can't hear you.
Okay, let me try this. We're hitting the reconnect button, going directly
Yeah, well,
into the X space with Jeffrey Steven here on my
we-
browser.
we need a 19-year-old to fix all this.
Yeah, I wish I was 19 again. Oh, and of course, on the day that we're doing the radio show, it's glitching. Because that's what it likes to do. The reconnect button, button, and then it just breaks. Okay, great. We'll just keep going the way that we're going.
All right.
Carry on. So you've survived the flood, the
Yeah,
devastation.
yeah. Well, it's still like today we've got fog. You know, I'm living up country in Baguio. Um, Down in the valley, I don't know what even happened there. And when I say down in the valley, it's really not such thing valley. You have, from north to south Luzon, which Manila's in the southern part of Luzon. I don't know what happened down there because obviously I'm not down there. And I really don't pay attention to the news because I don't have TV. I just have the computer. And I do care what happens to people, but at the same time, it's like I'm not really paying attention to the weather, like in Florida or Texas, you know. Um, so I'm not really staying up to speed on the physical dynamics of the United States of America, but I am staying up to date on the international politics, and particularly um, what I think they knew was going to happen about the Iran thing, and I figured that they knew that the IRGC would just not give up. But the IRGC is running out of money, and the three different factions of the Kurds are attacking from the northwest, and they're making incursions in. And so the IRGC is without the armament to actually defeat both of us. And we don't, yeah, granted, we hit them like 200 plus times over the last 3 days, but um, there's just hardliners, and people have to understand that the IRGC is run by, well, the guy that was originally running it, he's gone. The first three guys, and now it's down to a lower general, and we don't know if he's like 32 years old and he's full of testosterone, and but the people group that run the IRGC, they're what are called 12ers, and they believe that by causing worldwide problems, they can force the 12th Imam to come forward, who's supposed to be the Mahdi, and the Mahdi is the Muslim Messiah. And if you studied Islam at all and Christianity, you can see that Christianity's via from Old Testament and New Testament, its explanation of the end times and the Antichrist is how they explain what the Mahdi is going to do. So and we had this earlier, about a year ago, we talked about this. So the reality is they believe that by causing disruption and problems and that sort of thing, that the Antichrist is going to come forward. Meanwhile, you have all this other geopolitics. In November, within Brussels, Belgium, there's a meeting, and they're trying to bring the Noahide laws into effect worldwide, which will summarily make Christianity illegal.
Yeah, I know that they're trying to do that, and I haven't seen, because today's topic is Hawaii election transparency town hall. Hopefully, we'll have a few more people jumping in from different islands. But so how does all of this tie back? Because I know that when you were still here in the studio, we were talking about how the Muslim Brotherhood has chapters here in Hawaii.
Right. Well, they're everywhere. They've been embedding themselves for little over 3 decades. Okay, so it's not like a new thing. And the newest thing is that they have been registered or quantified as a terrorist organization or funders of terrorist organizations. Meanwhile, they're funding behind the scenes CARE. And CARE is the one, along with the Muslim Brotherhood, they're the ones putting the thousands of mosques nationwide.
And trying to
And
push Sharia law.
yeah, and if you see what they have been doing worldwide, they're the ones that organized the Arab Spring. And granted, it was a guy in Indonesia that put himself on fire, but that was used to expand Islam worldwide, and that's when the great diaspora of the young Muslims worldwide happened. And then you have the economic turmoil that happened from the COVID, and then you have the stuff that happened in and around north of Israel, in Lebanon, and that sort of thing, and Syria, and they use that and pushing people up from Africa and creating a great influx of I guess you call them immigrants, but they really weren't immigrants. They were dispersing their military force worldwide. So people that don't study history, what they could not accomplish in the 1400s, between the time Muhammad took over, which is he basically came to power. His power structure actually started in the late 600 AD into early 700 AD. What they couldn't do then, and then up through what Ataturk did in the 1400s, they have accomplished. And people don't understand that there was 6 major incursions, but 23 major battles that Islam had against Christendom. And the Crusades were to push back the Muslim hordes. And they infiltrated all the way up there, taking part of France. They took over Spain and Portugal, and basically they're moving west. And the King of France was done with it, and he organized with the Pope to actually come against them. And their whole thing was, infiltrate, get a big enough population, and then start pushing their political power. It hasn't changed, it just got more sophisticated. And that is happening worldwide. So the world is going to contend with, instead of from a group going via land or oceans, and if you remember the Barbary Wars, the first war the United States of America ever fought was against the Barbary pirates, which were all Muslims. And the Muslims and them basically had the largest number of slaves, and the Muslims, by and large, they sailed around through the gates of Gibraltar up, and they started seizing whole towns. I mean, whole towns, decimating the towns, just killing off all the men and keeping some as slaves, but basically taking the women and the children. And that's what they did up into Ireland and Britain and that in Scotland. And so they were ruthless. And the thing is, they made sure, and they have made sure, that no one will talk about this in American or English politics. And at this point, England's gone. It's holding on by a thread. And when they basically give the go-ahead, there's places in Germany, France, and England that no one can go unless you're a Muslim. So they've been invaded, and so they have even though they don't have fences around them and armed guards and that sort of thing, there's guards out there that are Muslim that are armed, and they are now wearing the police uniforms of those countries. So we're dealing with the exact same thing now. If you look into Revelation and Jeremiah and Ezekiel, you're basically, if you read into today's headline, it's kind of cool. You know, just as it says it was going to happen prophetically. So I guess we got some weird sound coming.
Oh, yep. I'm doing my computer sound check right
Yeah, it's
now.
coming. Well, it's coming through, so it is what it is.
Okay, I've turned that off. Now can you hear me
Let
better?
me see if I can. Can I hear you now?
Check, sound check. Checkity check.
That's basically what we're seeing and we're doing it. It's prophetic. The unfortunate thing is the American people, because of their kindness, our laws are being used against us, and they've already said that they want to eliminate the Supreme Court and they want to eliminate Congress and all that. So they openly have stated that their intent is sedition. And if the government of the United States of America doesn't move in this direction soon, you're going to have an internal civil war, but it's going to be against all people.
Hmm. And they're very organized in terms of getting people together and changing policies, and in fact, rolling out their own Sharia law system inside of other countries, which is in fact counter to those countries' cultures and history and norms. And yeah, it is pushing here, but sometimes it's more subtle, I think. And it's not just this Muslim influence that we have that really wants to control our elections on a local level. I mean, it all ties together, but go ahead. Mm, so Noahide meaning like the Israeli stuff. Mm. 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 Yeah, like what the WHO and Bill Gates were trying to do to sign over our sovereignty. So what does it look like to bring it back to the topic, Jeffrey? What does it look like for us to get a lawful vote? I know that you repudiated your birth certificate, and voting for you looks very different than for a citizen. So how do we get back to that? Okay, of the state that you were born, right? Not a federal citizen, you're a state citizen. Hmm. By force, right? That's a constitutional uh, trespass. Mm. Well, I hear this saying that in legal terms, to get out of something, you have to to get out of it, you have to get out the way that you came in, like the opposite pathway. So the United States was captured, our elections, it, right? So let me finish real quick. So we got into this state of having fake elections. How do we get out of it in like legal terms or in like how the documents get formed? Do we have to have a declaration of independence again? I think I heard some news article saying that Donald Trump had created a new declaration of independence. And I, Mm. So did you see that news story at January 6th, a few years ago, where there was a military officer standing there saying that power had been like the United States had been transferred to military power? I saw that video instead of Biden. So do you think that it is possible then that Biden was not inaugurated and that the power did transfer back to the military? Some of the conspiracy theorists are saying that that's what happened and that there's a major sting operation on these fake elections. So let's bring it to right here and now in Hawaii, this very nuanced place where we've got people from the Hawaiian kingdom that want their country back. We've got just a big mix of different types of things going on. We've got Democrat rule. We've got an election that is provably unprovable, right? Like we don't have chain of custody documents for the ballots. We got the chief elections officer, Scott Nago, walking on very thin ice right now. The Chief Justice is supposed to be appointing a new chair for the Election Commission meetings, except that Chief Justice was appointed or suggested by Josh Green, over 100 appointees here in Hawaii. And so what is it going to look like? What do you think is coming? Things seem to be coming to a head where people are mad as heck and they're not going to take it anymore. They keep muting mics or not getting the wrong people out of the meetings that are supposed to be resigning. We got the chair there way too long. I think that people are getting upset, but like on a lawful, peaceful pathway to an honest, open election here in Hawaii, what could that look like? Mm. So did you see this video that came out recently? I think it was Mickey Willis that produced it for Hawaii and had clips from KHON. And actually, Adriel Lamb was featured in that video. I don't know if you know of Adriel. I first met him over on the island of Oahu when I very first got involved in protecting our republic after I read the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. We're guaranteed a Republican form of government in every state. Uh, Adriel, right? Yeah, we got a Democrat form of something going on over here. But so Adriel, I don't, are you able to unmute? Yes, welcome. So maybe give a little self introduction there, Adriel, so that people listening here on the air at Maui Mix 105.5 FM, your Pinoy hit station, can get to know you from another island. Give me a second, Jeffrey. I'm going to mute your mic for a little while. Thanks, brother. Yeah, we can't advertise those. So yeah, I did not know that you were a candidate. Actually, sorry. I just saw you in the video, and I knew that you were doing politically active. Sorry about that. So we're speaking to Adriel Lamb. I first met him on the island of Oahu. He's a retired Army officer. That was news to me. I think he had a phone call come in or something, so we'll probably get. Oh, he's back. Welcome back. No, you are good. Yeah, thank you so much for being able to jump on. He's got another one. Yeah, so that's how it's going to be in the first few episodes that we do like this, guys. But I think that we're getting a good result with the sound quality and with the ability to tap into a lot of people around Hawaii all at the same time by combining the X space. Go to x.com and download the free app. And then there's something called an X space. That's where we're talking right now. And we can talk to people around the archipelago and around the world. Welcome back, Adriel. Hmm. Oh, so like a Nick Shirley type of Leering Center type of reveal, huh? Okay. Stranger than fiction, huh? Well, yeah, the election clerks said that they didn't even have the data, right? And we had a discrepancy on Big Island of what was it, 19,000 ballots? And no, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Adriel, and looking forward to hearing more updates from you in the future. I think we're going to do more of these X Spaces on the radio show. So we've got Tamara Mackay. She actually recently was appointed to the Elections Commission after she was duly elected to become the chair, but there was some action from the Advocate General and Jeffrey Osterkamp Esquire. That's a lawyer that's sitting on the Elections Commission now. And yeah, they worked to use every political maneuver and optical maneuver in the book to try to keep her from becoming the chair. And funny enough, after that, Senator Brenton Ava appointed her as a commissioner on the election commission. So now the people that are against election transparency and forensic audits seem to be running around with their hair on fire. Jeffrey Osterkamp pushed to let the Chief Justice in Hawaii choose and appoint the next meeting chair. And it's important to understand why this chair position is so important because the election commission is supposed to be overseeing the chief election officer. And they are supposed to have the power to do forensic audits and make sure that everything is on the up and up. But what we have seen from the past chair, Mike Curtis, for the past several years, has been muting microphones and having people removed by plainclothes police. Tamra's microphone is working. Thank you so much, Tamra, for coming back today. I really hope we can keep attention on this weekly and get more people around Hawaii that know what's going on, who are facing it every day, that can help to educate me and everybody else who might be listening. How's it going, Tamra? Right, right. So this will be very interesting for those of us who have got our popcorn ready. because I think the Chief Justice is really in a tough position. I guess it's a man, right? Uh, he he is in a tough position because if he reaches in and influences the elections commission, having been an appointee from Josh Green, that doesn't really look good when Josh Green is a candidate in the next selection election. Yeah, I saw the video of him on the news saying he hopes to be selected again. Oopsie daisy. So yeah, I think it's a red hand in the cookie jar if the Chief Justice does do that. But then he's also in trouble with the people that put him into power if he does not do that. And the desperation that I am seeing from the people that do not want transparency in the election system in Hawaii, it just it it's getting more and more. I think the desperation level is rising. Yes. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right. Yeah, I see Dylan is active and in and able to listen. I know that he was praising God today, as he does every day. But I would like to not mix you guys up, him being on a candidate team. Dylan, also, if you can hear me clearly, because we're not accepting any advertising dollars for any candidates on this call today, we cannot talk about any candidacy either. So I'll kind of segregate you guys a bit so that we are following the laws and everything to make sure that commissioners and candidates are not really talking or appear to be talking to each other in any way that would not be Pono or lawful. So, right, okay, I thought he's working on a campaign or something. So just, I just want to put it out there to everybody who's looking for something to get on us. You're not gonna get it because we stand on truth and liberty, and we know the games that you play, and we're not gonna play that. So, yeah, back to Tamra as the elections commissioner. You're new to being on the commission, but you are not new to Robert's Rules of Order. You've been trying to influence politics in a good way, in my opinion. I've been watching you and others in this space here in Hawaii, and yeah, I think that you are a force to be reckoned with in there. And the other commissioners, they're most of them are everyday people who don't have that experience. However, some of them have been proven to be lobbyists and like a former mayor, right? So these guys know the political games and the dancing and the word games and all of that stuff, but you know how to stand on the rules. And you're right. The Elections Commission did adopt Robert's Rules of Order. and that should be the thing that prevails within the law of Hawaii, the federal law, everything like that. So, um, what are things looking like for you in terms of the question I asked Jeffrey earlier? Things are getting pretty nuanced and pretty gnarly here in Hawaii, but what does a peaceful resolution and peaceful transfer of the election system back into the hands of the people look like? Peaceful and lawful transition of power. Yeah, yeah, how do we get there? What's it going to look like? Or what do we have to do to help to make this thing happen? And like, how can we peel off the band-aid, so to speak, and not have the whole thing just collapse?
as they have in other countries where rules, it doesn't seem too hopeful. But right now, there are, possibilities for people to rise, and it's only going to happen through the grassroots efforts. And um, I've been trying to send that message out for the past couple of years that the only way to take back uh, anything, whether it's a party, an organization, the government, state, and so forth, is only by if the grassroots come together and they approach their legislators, they write in, they get involved. Um, it's a little bit frustrating because there's many people who share their opinions, but they demand action by a small group of people, and a small group of people cannot do it. It's got to be unification and everybody taking action and not expecting the burden to be just on the select few. And that's been a problem for a while. And then in the end, when we don't get resolution, um, those people who sat quietly back or played armchair quarterback wonder what happened. And the more people that get involved, the more impact it makes. And that's, like I said, that's the only way that's going to happen. And it's very challenging in such a state with the type of law that we have because our governor has more power than any other governor in our country. So right now, resolution. The other thing too is that many of these positions, people people do is a volunteer position, and they're giving their time, their passion, their energy, and many times money out of their own pocket in order to fight the um, the wrong that's being done, or the manipulation of the rules, or the manipulation of the laws. And we really need to get people to come together and bring national attention. Like I said, write into the legislators, do GoFundMe or something so that the people who are putting themselves on the line can get help, whether it be legally or any other avenue that needs to make this happen, because we just end up draining ourselves, and it gets exhausting after a while. So I mean,
Mm,
that's just part of it is it's a huge responsibility, and it comes at a cost, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And so if we don't have people who come together and start helping fight the fight, we're not going to get anywhere because you're going to wear the warriors down.
And with that, we're at the top of the hour. You're listening to KPMW Maui Mix 105.5 FM on your radio dial, your Pinoy hit station, Puso ng Filipino, the heart of the Filipino in Hawaii, Hali'i Maili. I'm MC Shy Guy, aka Andrew, and I am talking to Tamara Mackay, one of our Maui appointed elections commissioners, about what is happening right now to figure out if we have free and fair elections. Turns out, folks, that we don't have documentation that can prove that we have free and fair elections, and that people are actively resisting audits. And Tamra is on the front lines looking at this problem, dealing with it from the inside, trying to lawfully and peacefully transition the power back from the election transparency deniers and into your hands. So what she just said was, to make this work, we have to have that mindset that I always say: nobody's coming to save us. Tamara can't save us. Andrew can't save us. We have to save us. We all have to do this together. And she's so right. There are very few people that are working on this. And a few years ago, when I saw Ralph Kushney in the courtroom on Kauai trying to work on this, he had barely anybody helping him at all. But it was funny. Right after that, that's when the people started showing up. It was actually the courthouse that day. We packed out the courthouse with like 50 people. But the week before, he said that barely anybody was showing up. So obviously people care about this, but it's hard for them to find out about it because our Instagrams are shadow banned or our Facebook is banned. Now we're transmitting on the airwaves to you as well as on x.com. So yeah, I just want to thank you again so much for your service, Tamara. You served in the U.S. military. You already did your time serving our country, and now you're doing time again. I call it doing time, but really for me, it's an honor to be doing this work together and to be alongside you and people like you. I don't feel like it's doing time. We are having an adventure. I try to have fun with it and just laugh at these clowns that are trying to lie to our faces. Right? Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Moving moving forward, do you want to talk a little bit about? Oh, I should read the comment from Dylan. Dylan had to pop off. Let me see if I'm able to bring his comment back up real quick. He said, "Thanks for hosting. We'll share. We'll try to hop back on later and look forward to next week. I would like to see the commission elect Tamra as their pro tem or pro temp. So that means she would be the temporary chair of the meeting until they formally elect, I wouldn't say permanent, but a permanent one for the next cycle, which is, how long is that? How long does a chair serve usually? Is it 2 years? Oh, 4 years. Oh, so you get into the commission, and then from within the commission, then you get voted in as chair. That's one way to be the chair. And then you're in for like 4 years, unless you resign or. And a lot have resigned. Yeah, they literally said we can't open the ballots because the law says we have to keep it closed for 2 years. And that's totally not what the law says. Like straight lie to our face. 100 plus people in the Zoom call. By the way, folks, if you want to join the Elections Commission Zoom calls, stay tuned. We'll be posting that on kpmwmaui.com as well as the KPMW Maui Mix Facebook page, as well as my platform, Maui Freedom TV, and we'll go from there. So, Tamra, you've been around the country the past few years. You served trying to get like to clean up the Republican Party. You were an earlier person to do that than me. I got to the party late, but I felt compelled to get in there and sniff around, point my camera at people, and try to figure out who's who. And I quickly figured out that you are one of the people that it's always being attacked. And if you're always being attacked, I think there's something there, right? So you started out in Maui County. You worked your way up to Maui County chair and then to Hawaii Republican Party state chair. That I can't imagine how difficult that has been. I only know like some of the stories that went along with that. But if anybody has seen that quote about like from Donald Trump, like they're coming for you, I'm just in the way. Isn't it? Do you kind of feel that way too, Tamara? Like they're coming after you, and I've seen it with other people too, and it happened to me with Maui Freedom TV. Like if you're over the mark, you get some weird clowns dancing around and trying to stop you.
It's been it's been interesting, and maybe it's the same concept, but I don't. So everybody knows that my mantra is truth has no fear, and it seems that when you are over the target, or you're coming close to something that they don't want to be uncovered or they don't want changed, they have a huge amount of fear, and so they fight. They definitely fight and try and take down. Thank goodness that we've had quite a bit of people who were involved that were did really well in documentation and reporting, and we've been able to um, call that out and challenge them back. Even afterwards, if you the after a year of not being the chair and still finding out that my name is still being brought up with false accusations, and as soon as I hear that, I throw in recordings or documentation um, that show otherwise. And I'm not sure if they are used to that or expect that. So um, I believe that we have trouble changing hats. I'm not speaking anymore like as a commissioner, but I'll speak as an independent right now person,
Mm.
as a past chair. But the things that are going on within not just the state of Hawaii, but across the country, and the conversations that I have had, um, this is not just an isolated thing. There is coordinated effort in order to drive an agenda um, and to move less towards two parties, a singular system, and uh, and it looks more and more towards, especially with the documentation that I've obtained, towards the 2030 agenda. You know, we do have currently, and that people can look this up themselves. We do have a leader inside of the Hawaii Republican Party, and who has gathered her team together, who is documented as being in one of the top three global organizations that has an affiliation with George Soros. And that should be of some concern to many people.
To everyone, Democrats included, right? I've met some really nice Democrats here in Hawaii that are very reasonable people. And, it's kind of like they didn't read the memo of what's going on in the rest of the country with people wearing that label. They're kind of older generation. I saw this in Oregon, where I'm from. They remind me of the Republicans of today, right? Like how the right has shifted towards middle and left has shifted towards like radical extreme left. But I do believe that there are neutral people that want to just come together and have free and fair elections. Mm,
Think that drop the title, you're going to find out that the majority of Americans want the same thing. They want free and fair elections. They want to be able
mm,
to have safe, uh, know that their food is safe. They want to live and have the American dream of a home, and um, and be able to, speak freely. If we look at the core values of what America stands for, that's truly what, regardless of what denomination, organization that you come from, we all have the same core values. And
mm,
it's the powers that be who want to categorize and segregate everybody so that they can cause um, the animosity and keep dysfunction, because that is just a smokescreen so that they can falsely come in and temporarily be like the knight in shining armor. And it's just it's 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 a false
mm.
falsehood. what can we do to fight together without getting all woo-woo and personal about
Yeah,
it?
fight together without fighting each other. And you touched on so many points that I've noticed because I flew around this archipelago interviewing people with my little camera, my phone camera, and I saw this theme repeating. And I see it here in the Filipino community as well. People love God, they love their family, they love their kids. Same thing with the different Hawaiian groups. They love their God, they love their family, they love their kids, and they just want to be able to own their own home, have their land, and just live in peace and not have people telling you what you have to do with your kids in order to play sports. You got to inject them with this stuff or that thing. Like people are pretty much honest and nice for the most part. And there's this media push that wants us to be afraid and like pushing violence and all of these things. And I see it too in Instagram. There's certain circles because I say something, oh, because I'm white, then it's like, oh, he's haole, right? And so I ask back, like haole, as in like without the breath of life of God, without aloha, ha, the breath. You mean that kind? Like, oh, okay. And then like didn't know how to attack that. So, but yeah, I see coordinated attacks to enter any type of group or any type of organization that is actually trying to just get everyday normal people into positions where they can stop this grifting that's going on. Because, you know, you go in with good intentions, you didn't know that you're stopping waste, fraud, and abuse. And then you get in there, you see the waste, fraud, and abuse, then you're the target because you're a threat to like people lining their pockets. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, Green Party, Aloha Party, Libertarian. If you're just an honest person trying to get involved politically, you're probably going to meet some resistance. But that is our duty to our children. And that's why I'm here sticking my neck out. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Tamra's one of the great people here in Hawaii that's really stuck her neck out for us. And a lot of people don't realize that. And I don't care what any rumors say. People spread rumors about me in the past as well. And that's how I learned to not listen to rumors. I'm not just going to assume that something's true. I'm going to go verify it. So when George Floyd race wars began, I started asking myself, well, am I racist? And I didn't even realize it. I better go investigate this because that's what they were trying to tell us. And then I followed the money on BLM and then like, oh, that goes back to the DNC and then that goes back to the CCP. Like, wow, okay. There's something else going on here. Sorry, I got a little bit excited and I rant. Thanks for coming on me, coming on this ride with me here on the radio and on the internet. I think we're going to have a pretty good turnout in the future if we keep combining the X space and then getting folks from around the islands on board. We got the sound quality dialed in. Um, Tamra, do you have any other things to share, like moving forward, or um, what else would you like to speak on with this to really drive home? We just got 40 more minutes to drive it home. No, you got as much time as you want.
What can we do to come together and get people to get involved? I mean, I can't say it enough. If you don't get involved, we're going to end up losing the most important thing, and that is our freedom, our rights, and our country. And it's not an exaggeration. And I've seen it with my own eyes and witnessed it, various meetings, various interactions, and um, and it's here. And so even if somebody can, I know a lot of people, the families are working, both parents are working, but as soon as the children are of age, they're working, and people are exhausted and they're tired and they are upset and stressed, especially when they're finding out that a lot of our food is
can be written for you and find out the address, but make your voice heard. Um, be very, very open-eyed. Be careful about. I've been hearing a lot lately too, which blows my mind. Is oh well, I'm gonna support this person because they're nice, or they
Right.
changed. Honey, they are nice because they want you to believe that they're nice. It's a facade. And you got to look at the action and the history of people. And people need to take the time. Appoint somebody in your community if you don't have time to look at donations and open secrets and CSC reports and really do some work because there are a lot of people who are wolves in sheep's clothing and they're not who they say they are. That's why it's so important for the grassroots to rise up because people don't change after many years of being a certain way, especially in politics. We need good people to run because we don't have a lot of good choices of people running in office, and we're right now with just a few exceptions. Right now, people are saying either I'm not going to vote or I guess I'm going to pick the best of the worst. And that's
Mm.
really sad because really good people, and I don't blame them, are afraid to run because they get attacked. And it's the machine that doesn't want good people to run because they don't want integrity to take over the machine that they've established.
Yeah, and they will work so desperately to keep their hands on it. But it's like a rubber band. And I told them this in one of the elections commission meetings. Like, you guys are pulling this rubber band back so far, it's going to snap back and hit you. And I think that that's the point in history where we are right now, because there are too many activated and awakened people on every island that are seeing exactly what's going on. And yeah, they tried to say that we're the minority because we only have 100 people showing up. But it turns out of those 100 people, a bunch of them are influencers who represent even more people. And yeah, the influencers, yeah, I guess they vote on Instagram or something, and it's more with their business and their lifestyle thing. But really and truly, if the influencers that are out there would get engaged in civics, then we would have candidates that are too big to rig. And that is what is required for us to tip the scales in Hawaii in that fashion. We've got people coming in trying to get audits and transparency in the commission. But at the same time, folks, use your coconut wireless and tell everybody around to show up in person on election day, and everybody vote for the same person and make videos. Your camera is your sword and your shield. And they stopped trying to kick us out after our friend Ryan had the cops called on him a few years ago. And he said, "No, you guys can't arrest me. That'll be kidnapping under color of law." So, I mean, obviously, there's certain things you shouldn't film, but like if they tell you you can't film the election process or the place, um, yeah, it is a public building. Just don't be trying to record what people are voting. That is a no-no. And again, this is not legal advice or medical advice or relationship or any other type of advice, folks. That's our disclaimer. We are here for entertainment and education purposes only. Wow. So national level, uh, wh- where else have you seen in the country that is anywhere close to what you've seen in Hawaii in terms of sophistication in the systems that are keeping the status quo?
Expanding, daily in the news, and that's only a piece of it. But Illinois is finding difficulty. Alaska is being challenged. I know Scott Pressler went up to Alaska to help them repeal ranked choice voting, and he's really getting all over. And he was just put in a seat in Pennsylvania. So good job, Scott Pressler. And then um, then we have some issues of, the illegal immigrant migration into Texas. We've got issues in Virgin Islands. Um,
And
we
that's a
have,
U.S. territory or British?
it's a U.S. territory. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam. So, and they, they all have representatives that have gone, to the RNC gatherings annually and so forth. Um, so, then we have, the partnership, um, in alliance with Josh Green with Oregon, California, and Washington State, and the Western organization that Mr. Green seems to um, become a chair for. And so, like I said, there's an agenda, everything's on purpose happening, and I'm like, I sound like a broken record, but unless the people rise now, they have to rise now, because we have governor elections in Hawaii, and then everybody needs to start getting ready for 2028. They
Mm.
are. The opposition is getting ready yesterday.
Right. Yeah, I was saying this when Cullen Bell and BJ Penn were running. I was looking around and seeing these guys have like a long-term grand strategy with their musical chairs game, and all of us are running this sprint, like rushing like cats in different directions. Everybody had their own campaign, their own thing, this thing going on, and like very little collaboration. And years later now I think we're seeing that the dust has settled, and the people that were there just for the clout and the whatever have kind of dissipated or are easier to see. But yeah, it is a marathon run. We've got Megeso Dennis, who is on the island of Kauai, who's listening right now. I've invited him to have a mic, but I got to keep you guys separate as well, because he is running for a position in government, but he's not advertising here, so we can't really talk about that. But we can talk about how he was rejected from going into a candidates meeting where people were supposed to meet the candidates. Tamara, do you have any other stuff that you want to share, or do you want me to let you off the hook for now?
Created the tool that go into a meeting and live. I don't know if I can mention that. Can I?
I think I might get in a little. Is it for free download? Premium? Okay.
Yeah, make them stronger, especially when it comes.
Yeah, I think the free model, I think we can get away with it. So, Robert's Rules of Order, for the folks who don't know, those are the rules that you're supposed to follow when you go into any government meeting, pretty much. And if you speak out of turn or out of order, then the nerd brigade's going to come and shut you down. Sorry, nerds, I'm also a nerd. And they'll be like, because of this rule over here, and I do this voice. But it is Robert's Rules of Order. It's how we keep order in the meetings, and it's really hard to decode for a normal human person like me. But Tamara has made an app or a website that makes it easy for people. Yeah, I think go ahead and share that one, Tamara. That one can turn the tides. So you learn Robert's Rules of Order in real time by using this app in meetings. Love it. Thank you so much, Tamara Mackay. I hope you come on again next week, and we just keep doing this town hall. And yeah, ahui ho. God bless. Malama pono. I have in and adios, amigos. Buenos nachos. So I've sent an invitation to Megeso to unmute his mic. Let's see if he can grab the mic. And I see Julie Yamato. I think you ran for what was it? The chair of fiduciary. Like, I think that's the same Julie that I'm thinking of. I've sent her a mic invite as well. Jeffrey, how's your mic doing? We can do a little bit of bumper filler time while our friends try to get their mics turned on if they'd like. I know that you've been more involved in federal lawsuits and like going all the way back in history to the time when our elections became fake. But what's your impression? Oh, we got Julie. Give me just a minute, Jeffrey. Let me give Julie the space. How you doing, Julie? So, do you remember the question that I asked you when you were on stage? Yeah, because you were running for the chair position for the, what is it called? The chair of Treasury. That's right, the Treasury chair. And I asked you a math question. People said it was irrelevant because I asked you about the diameter of the coronavirus as compared to the masks and asked you if you had taken into account Brownian motion. Because, yeah, you have is it a biomedical background? Okay, yeah. So yeah, maybe give a little self-introduction. Thank you so much for coming on. I recognized you, so I gave you the mic. We are on the radio right now on KPMW Maui Mix 105.5 FM, your Pinoy hit station. So yeah, yes, you were already famous, but now you're more famous. So which Moku you stay, sister? Which island are you based on? So you're on Oahu. I had a very good impression of you when I read your body language. That's what I always do. I look at people's facial expressions and body language. And most of the time, I get it right. But like Tamara said, these people are master liars. So yeah. Sorry if you're coming into the tail end of that conversation. How has it been for you? Like maybe give a little bit more of your background, self intro, and then why you got involved in political stuff and where you're at now. If you're running for a position, we can't really talk about that unless because the FCC law with advertising, you'd have to talk to the owner, get advertising dollars here. But yeah, tell us about you, Julie. I love Bruce, and thank you for tagging. Oh, is that you, Survival Jules? Is that you? Oh, okay. I was wondering who's that truth teller out there that's always like tearing it up. You got a very active group there. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, so also for moving forward, if you know other people that would be great to speak on the radio and share their EK, then we can talk to them and see about bringing more people on. Because really, X.com is the digital town square that we've been denied, but it's hard to get people in Hawaii onto it. But now that we've got it on the radio, I think things are going to shift. Yeah, well, I like having you here. And sorry I keep interrupting you. Let's get back to your story. Yeah, yeah. So you're born and raised. Where you from, Tita? Okay, yeah, very specific. At what time in the morning? Was it afternoon? Okay, poor mother. Yeah, thank God for mothers. Okay, so you had a change of heart or change of mind? I think Democrats have great hearts. They want to help people, right? That's what I feel. Yeah. Yeah, or mom's like, don't ask, you just give me all your ballots and I'll do it for you. I know a few moms like that. Right. Yeah, there's some parents that are like, you're born into it. Like you're born into a religion or you're born into this. It's like skin color sometimes. Yeah, I call it the hamster wheel. Yeah, exactly. So you're born and raised. Hawaii no Kaoi, right? Hawaii is like the best place on earth, right? Yeah, I'm not a fan of all those seasons and stuff, right? That's too many seasons for me to understand. Four? What? Yeah, I like warm summer and cool summer. That's what we got in Hawaii. So is that what motivated you to get involved politically? Because you don't want to be priced out of paradise, or? Mm, mm, Somebody else will tell you what you're allowed to think. I'm hearing that with the unions too. I met my girlfriend's close friend in New York who was a fan of like global communism. I think because she didn't understand what that really is. And I asked her about the unions because she's writing some university paper talking about the unions in New York in 1935. And I asked about their influence on the elections. And she said, oh, yeah, that was before. That's not now. And like closed case, like no question about it. So you saw from the inside, from the other side, so to speak, from one side, it's actually not just two sides, red and blue or Democrat, Republican. There are a lot of influences that are behind the scenes in all the parties that all seem to lead back to George Soros, right? Or BlackRock or Vanguard. Mm. 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 Not these crappy HRP conventions. No disrespect to the folks that put that on. It was hard. But yeah, I mean, Tamra alluded to it earlier too. We are working against this well oiled machine that is super well funded. And sometimes all we can do is throw a wrench into the gears because, like, that's all the resources that we have. But we are that wrench, and here we are doing it. Yeah, well, and back to the whole thing of like Republican, Democrat just being labels. We're just people that want truth. And I know Democrats here in Hawaii, on the island of Maui, that just want the truth and who can have a free and fair, open debate in good faith. But the people that control the media and control most of the government are not the kind that want to have an open debate because they got nothing that they can bring to the table and they know it. Mm. Do you know Megeso, by the way? So if you don't mind, I'd like to open it up for like a three-person roundtable right now and let Megeso kind of let everybody know again that how he was rejected from going into a candidate meeting, and then maybe we can expound on that together. Megeso, are you able to speak? I see that your microphone is on. All right. Well, he is working on his microphone. Oh, there he is. Good. You are, and a beautiful voice it is, Megeso. So we won't talk about the exact campaign, but you are running for a leadership position in the government in Kauai. And what's the story? Just on site, they knew that you were there for truth and justice and said, no, stop that man. Uh, And that's in a good way, opinionated folks, not like strong, harsh opinions, just very good at articulating smart opinions, in my opinion. We've got about 13 minutes left, Migueso. So sorry to rush it along a little bit. I've got to land this plane in about 10 minutes or 20 minutes, 10 minutes, well, 13 minutes. You get the math. So you were barred from entering, and this was not just some small meeting. This was at a community center. There were, I guess, some workers' unions or workers' associations there, some type of big business association. Um, Maybe there was one chamber of commerce involved. I don't know who exactly ejected you from the meeting, but who stood for you and said, "Hey, he's got a right to speak"? Did anybody raise their hand? Mm. And that was a lot of like Filipinos gathered there too, I believe. Okay. At the Right, okay. Because the last Filipino Center event I went to, I was like the only non-Filipino there, maybe. I don't know. The food was good. That's all I cared about. And the people were wonderful. So yeah, they didn't want you speaking in front of them because forgive me for filling in the conspiracy theory part. Your voice of reason resonates with people, and they've had a controlled audience. What do you call that? A captive audience. And we can't let people like Megesa or Julie speak. No way. That would change the balance of power. So I've got a question for both you and Julie. The same one that I asked Tamra, same thing that I asked Adriel Lamb today, and Jeffrey. In your mind, as we come to a head now with this election transparency denial in Hawaii and everybody's aware of it, what does a peaceful, lawful resolution to this problem and a return of control of the election system to the hands of the people look like? Hold on a second, Jeffrey. I was asking these two guys, Megezo and Julie. Yeah, I had you like started off with that earlier, but I wanted to have you wrap with it, Jeffrey, like at the very end. So I'll give like third, right? Correct. And Megeso speaks this language very well also. Megeso, you want to carry that forward? So I'll pass to Julie then. Julie, what does it look like for you for us to get our elections back?
somehow have some sense in people without necessarily think that everybody knows it. Is that they might believe that that's the correct way to do things.
Mm.
Maybe they could go back to the ways that we were doing things and try to fix things.
So hand counted ballots in person, winning hearts and minds. I'm just summarizing what you're saying. And I want to pass it back to Jeffrey. We'll do lightning round until 2 o'clock. And we can keep going, guys, if you want to on the X space, but the radio broadcast ends at 2. So for the people on the radio that want to hear more of this, you go to x.com/Maui Freedom TV, tap, and you will get into the X space, into our Hawaii town hall. We've got golfing RN in the group as well. I think that means golfing right now. A patriot that has been in the trenches for years now. Jeffrey, let's carry on with what Julie was saying about how to take our elections back, hand counted votes. What do you think, Jeffrey and Mageso, hand counted votes, but also when I go there to the election center and say, I'm here to count by hand, and they're like, you're arrested. How do I handle that when they try to arrest me? I identify as being a lawful voter. You're racist, you bigot. I love it. Okay, all right. I got to pass it on to Jeffrey. Or sorry, on to Megesa. We got a couple minutes left. Right. Quick shout out to Brennan Cabral. If anybody can pass him the link to this one, he shows up on a ventilator to the election commission meetings, breathing like Darth Vader. I want in person voting, and like amazing. He's a patriot, like spending his last breaths on his deathbed to ensure that we have in person voting. Sorry, carry on, Makeso. So, with his executive order, so will we be able to call the National Guard locally and say, "Hey, executive order in hand, you guys need to protect us as we go, like ensure transparency"? Mm. Julie, did you want to share more? That's what I keep hearing too, and I'm praying. Oh, we got golfing that wants to add in. Let's do it. Golfing is a trusted friend online here. We have to follow FCC laws, so we have no cursing, no talking about any drugs, no accidentally advertising anything. I just have to say that little disclaimer for anybody coming on here. Here we go. We got golfing RN is connecting. We got a few more minutes. I might be allowed to go overboard by a second. Shoots, I didn't play the ad. I'm supposed to play an ad I forgot about, guys, because we have P. Denise Lacosta, who is running for Maui, for the mayor of Maui. Let me look and see this thing. Are you there, golfing? Can you hear us? Oh, it's a she. I pardon me for assuming. I didn't even really look at your profile. She is golfing. I'm not calling you he. I'm so bad. Let me play this ad real quick and I'll get you guys back on. Hold on. Let me see if this thing will play. It's playing. Hold on. Yeah, so I'll give $10 to anybody who understood that. Oh, okay. All right. You guys aren't getting the sound patch. Yeah, so that was in the Ilocons language. Uh, and the first time when I first came to Maui, I was hearing the radio and it's like, like speaking like Filipino language. And I was so surprised, like, wow, there must be a lot of Filipinos here if they have their own radio station. And, I'd been to the Philippines in 2019 and I loved it. So I was excited to find that out because I love Filipino food. Golfing, are you able to unmute? That was actually an ad for P. Denise Lacosta, the cost cutter, who is running against Mayor Richard Bisson, who presided over the Lahaina Maui massacre, Maui fires. They were not wild. Golfing, are you able to unmute? Yes, I think you wanted to chip in on what we were talking about with securing election integrity and transparency. You're listening to KPMW Maui Mix 105.5 FM on your radio dial, your Pinoy hit station, Pusonang Filipino, the heart of the Filipino in Hawaii. Hali'i Maile. I'm MC Shy Guy, aka Andrew. We're going to continue on x.com/Maui Freedom TV with this town hall, online town hall. Thanks for listening in. Have a fabulous day. See you next week. Thank you very much for sharing. Are you still able to hear me? Okie doke. Yeah, I have, while you were talking, I ended the radio